Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas getting set for UFC 146 alongside Roy Big Country Nelson, who faces Dave Pee Wee Herman this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. And Roy, I did not recognize you, not only because of your great facial hair and just hair in general, but a Brazilian sponsor. I believe you are the first American to be sponsored by Praetorian. Is that not correct?
Yeah, you can't even get in here in the U.S. It's just, I think it's one of those things that Brazil loves the way I fight. And, Praetorian sponsors, I guess, all the winners, especially on this card.
You can't get this in the U.S.?
I can't get this in the U.S. yet.
Wow. Did they sponsor you maybe because you are the only guy to really test Junior Dos Santos, to really take him to the limit because they're a sponsor of his as well?
No, I think they just want to sponsor winners. It's people that actually just go out there and just fight. I think it's that, fans just love the guys that just go out and fight, and I think Praetorian is kind of that brand. I think their motto is Praetorian hard. So,
there's a lot of big names on this card. Obviously the heavyweight championship of the world is being defended in the main event. But yesterday at the media workouts, you kind of stole the show there with your discussion on drugs and just a whole bunch of controversial topics. Was that sort of premeditated on your part to sort of steal the spotlight from the guys on the top of the card?
No, it's just you guys always want to. The fans always want to see what I want to say. News people want to see what I say. And then there's 3 stations, and I got to have 3 different topics. Can't just, I can go out and just, start spilling just one thing and then go to the next and say, the same thing. And you guys just, I lose you guys. It's kind of like you got to have a story all the way through.
I appreciate that. You're thinking about us. Not a lot of guys think about sort of the way we feel about things.
You know what? Sometimes it's a slow week. Sometimes, you got to give them a little bit more. Plus, it's, we're in the entertainment business, so we got to sell some stuff.
So let's be clear, in case people missed it. You are offering to now pay for your opponents to take drug tests in order to make sure everything is kosher before you fight?
Yeah, I think it's either I'll pay for it, get VADA involved, and then they'll pay for it. You know what? We'll even get some sponsors involved. Worst case scenario, I guess we can get the UFC involved, maybe athletic commissions. Somebody.
Right. You would think the athletic commissions would want to get involved, but Dana White told the Boston Herald earlier this week that the UFC is now going to start to do their own drug testing. He wasn't very clear and didn't go into it much, but do you think that's a good sign of things to come?
Yeah, I'll be the first test. We'll just go off of me and we'll just do random drug tests, not the hey, we'll pee in the cup right before the fight. I think people have to realize there's a way that people cycle on, cycle off. And sometimes you just get popped, in the middle of your cycle.
Yeah. Do you think this is a major problem in our sport, something that will plague us for many years to come if we don't fix it right now?
I don't think it's definitely a major problem, but I don't think it plagues us. I think sometimes fans don't really care about it. They want to sweep it under the rug. They just want to see guys just go out there and just fight. I think if you bring it to people's attention that this has been going on for a very long time, I think Ken Shamrock even brought it up that, you guys forced me to do this, and that was back when,
What about TRT? What's your take on that?
TRT, I think it all depends on who you are and really what, if you got a problem with having low testosterone, but I think it's one of those things that you still can cycle on, cycle off. I think people still abuse that, privilege.
Do you think guys are taking it now who don't really need to be taking it, but because you can sort of get away with it if you go through the proper channels, they're doing it?
Yeah, I used to do that with DECA and stuff, But no, I think it's one of those things, if you got a rib injury, you just, it's just time to call it a day. No, it's just, I think guys just, with anything abusing half the stuff that, that's out there.
Have you ever felt the need, listen, if I need to improve my standing in this sport, if I want to get better, I need to do this stuff. Have you ever felt the pressure to do that?
All the time. As a fighter, when you hear from, just the pressure just, this is the way you got to, get to the top. I think I even said it yesterday. You just might have to sell your soul to the devil.
Have you ever done that?
No.
You're looking very good, though, lately.
Thank you. I told you it's the fucking drugs.
And by the way, interestingly enough, yesterday your opponent, Dave Herman, says he thinks the heavier Roy Nelson is better than the slimmer Roy Nelson. Do you think he's trying to play with your mind here, maybe trying to get you to eat a lot in the next 24 to 48 hours.
No, when I heard that, it made so much sense, so I started eating.
Right. So you do think the heavier Roy Nelson is better than the slimmer Roy Nelson?
You know what? I think just a happy Roy Nelson is always a better Roy Nelson.
A full Roy Nelson.
Not a full Roy Nelson, a happier Roy Nelson. Because you can be overfull and be like, oh, that's too much.
How much do you expect to weigh tomorrow at the weigh-ins?
How much do you think I'm going to weigh?
I'm going to say 247.
That's a good guess. But you'll have to see.
Okay. Will it maybe be your lightest ever?
Why? Do I look smaller than last time?
I mean, essentially, the gimmick's gone. The belly is no more. Yeah.
See, I could stick it out.
Everyone could say I could stick mine out too, but right now, it looks pretty good.
Well, I appreciate it.
Dana White is somewhere very happy, except for this whole situation.
That's just because I'm unique and he can't grow it.
The funny thing is that both you and Dave have sort of annoyed Dana over the years with your facial hair. You know, Dave in his last fight with the black everywhere. I almost feel like he's not even going to want to watch this fight because both of you just kind of get under his skin.
It's okay. He doesn't pay the bill.
He doesn't?
No, it's the fans.
Okay.
They're the ones that pay him, and then he takes his little cut and then filters it out.
Are you happy with that cut?
Anytime when you're in this business, you're never happy with that cut.
Or any business, right?
You know what? If I was doing Floyd, I could pay myself or something like that. But no, not in this business. Anytime somebody else is filtered off your money, right. It pits and hose.
You were supposed to fight Bigfoot, but then we had all the changes on the card. Now you're fighting Dave. Which matchup did you like more?
You know what? I wanted Bigfoot. That's what I concentrated my whole camp on. That's what I planned for, and then got Gonzaga and then Herman. I mean, that's who I wanted. And then, but when I lost that, I was trying to go to Kane. I was trying to go up the ladder, not down.
Right.
I'm trying to, in a business standpoint, you're trying to build your career. But Dave's a good, great opponent. It's just when you're trying to, stay in that top 10, you just want to stay there.
Hard to get motivated for him?
No, it's easy to get motivated. It's a fight. Someone punching in your face, you want to punch it back.
And by the way, we have to clear this up because I was a little confused. On Twitter, you wrote, they asked me if I would fight Kane. You made it seem like the UFC asked you if you'd fight Kane, and then you said, oh, no, they were the fans. You remember that whole thing?
Yeah, no.
And then I asked you, and then you said, oh, look, come on my show and we'll clear it up. And then you never got back at me.
You know what? Sometimes when Twitter, you kind of get lost a little bit. There's a lot of people talking. No, fans said, "Hey, why don't you step up and do it?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then I put my 2 bits in, and then apparently a lot of fans really wanted it. Yeah. And then, and then you get what the circus or UFC set up.
And then what about the whole Facebook like thing? There are some who believe you never had any intention of going down to 205. You just wanted to get more likes on your Facebook page.
Not if I wanted to, they should have read the bet and actually finished the bet, and then I would have lost the bet. But I won the bet, right. So I'm okay. I don't have to get down to 205. But no, it was a completely legitimate bet, and I won.
You would have done it.
I would have at least tried. That was the bet.
Right.
I mean, I'm a man of my word, and that's the thing in this business that no one can take away from me.
Right, that is very true. Okay, so what about Dave Herman? I mean, good Muay Thai skills, good knees, pretty good on the ground, although he doesn't believe very much in jiu-jitsu. How do you expect this fight to play out?
You know what? I think it's probably one of the most exciting fights. We're gonna both give 110%, and a lot of people ask, what's 110%? It's gonna be that fight where everybody's gonna leave everything out there, and then after that, you're gonna give that extra 10% because. His very first fight in the UFC, it was one of those. He gave everything, and then next thing you know, there's an extra 10% that changes the fight, how the fight went.
Very interesting stuff on the Countdown show. You going back to your roots, your kung fu roots. Is this the first time that you've done this as of late, or is this something that you've been doing for your last few fights?
Just kind of this last fight. I guess trying to find the roots of why I got into martial arts in the first place. Because when you get in this MMA business, you get jaded real fast of why you want to do this stuff, and just getting back into martial arts is a lifestyle versus just doing this is a job.
You think it's helped?
Definitely, it's definitely calmed my mind a little bit.
So maybe we'll see you do some kung fu moves in the cage on Saturday.
Possibly. I think a lot of my stuff that I do in the cage is somewhat kung fu related.
Right. Okay, final thing, I know you're a closet pro wrestling fan. Perhaps you'd rather be doing that than this. A lot safer. Brock Lesnar, your old friend. How do you think he's doing over in WWE?
I think he's doing great. I might just call him out after this. I think the UFC might give me a blessing to go over there and whoop his butt too.
Really?
Why not? They let him.
But, well, not really. He doesn't work for them anymore.
Well, not really. He did his retirement said.
Right.
So I retire too, and I just go over there and do it for a little bit and then
You
come
think
back.
it's fake, right?
What, wrestling?
No, his retirement.
You know what? No, he's retired.
You think he should be a Hall of Famer?
This is like a Randy Couture question.
Yeah.
Um,
I put you up there with Randy Couture. That's why I want to know if you agree with Randy.
You know what? If Brock belongs in the Hall of Fame, so do I.
Really?
Yeah. If, he got 4 fights, whatever, in the UFC.
But he won a title.
It's not that hard to win the title, and, it's kind of set up that way for you.
Sort of on a silver platter, right?
Pretty much. So, after Dave Herman, I guess I get in the title shot. Interim.
Right.
Because someone's going to get hurt.
Everyone gets the interim titles these days. It's very in vogue.
Uh-huh. What? Nothing against Araya, but we'll go ahead and set up the intern for Araya.
You've been bringing him up a lot. You think he gets a little too many title shots, right?
Who, Araya? No, it's just there's nobody in the 135 division. There's only 2 guys, so... Hey, you want to fight for the title? You want to fight for the title? I guess if you're 135, you can fight for the title.
Right.
So I'm going to cut 2 legs off.
All right, Roy. Well, very good to see you, as always. Good luck on Saturday, and we look forward to the
I
fight.
appreciate it. Thank you.